Hey guys, Daggz here, getting back into the swing of Vampyr. Sorry for the delay, it's just getting caught up on playing some Diablo 3 with Grim and the rest of the meme team. I'm really intrigued as to where the story is progressing so far, so I think we're just going to jump right into it, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, because I haven't done it in a while, is to upgrade my stats, because I've got a lot of points that I can use. So we'll do that first and foremost. Blood barrier, blood spear, I think was the other one I wanted to try. Throw a spear made of blood which you can pass through enemies in front of you. No. Let's do... Okay, so I can increase my jump. Alright. So this increases damage. 120 damage, 50 damage. Alright. Cost 10, recovery 10. Range 2 meters. 50 damage, 15 stun. Okay, so that's stun and damage. And this one is just damage. Let's press and hold. Let's increase that one. More damage. Alright. Let's increase the blood capacity. Not quite sure what this does. I don't know if it's capacity of blood that I can hold on my person. Carry 4 serums. Let's bring that up to 6. Get maybe 2 more things in here. Bullets, I don't use bullets that much. Stamina is one that definitely needs to be increased. And if it'll let me do anything else, let's go back to add a cartridge. Alright, so we'll confirm that. We'll jump to the next night. Alright. So the health status has gone up to healthy, which is good because I cured everybody. Or at least almost everybody. Let's see if I can craft anything else. Six of them. 6 of them. 1 of them. 2 of them. 2 of them. 5, 5, 5. Don't have the recipe for headache yet. But I'll increase these for whoever I meet along the way. Oh, I need potassium. Okay. Present yourself to the Ascalon Club. Let's go talk to... Can't open that because it's already empty. Alright, let's go talk to Swansea for a minute, see what he has to say, if anything.
Yes, my friend?
Do you have anything new to say? What about the Great Hunt?
What can you tell me about the Great Hunt?
A sad story, my dear friend. Tragic, in fact. The Brotherhood was betrayed by some of its most trusted members.
Why was it a tragedy?
Not only did the Guard of Prewen hunt down and kill most ancient vampires of England, they also destroyed or confiscated their possessions. Priceless knowledge was lost in just a few nights.
Definite tragedy. Alright, about the betrayal.
Tell me about the betrayal.
The founders of the Guard of Prewen stole precious and unique documents and reports from the Brotherhood's library when they left. They used them to identify and locate their next targets.
Alright.
I shall return later. Thank you, Edgar.
A map. Let's see if there's any updates to... Oh, yeah, there's an update here. New dialogue with Lady Ashbury. Unknown event happened. Alright, let's go check that out, and then we'll go to the West End. Seems like a distance, but part of this game is exploring beyond. Oh. Dr. Strickland. Oh, he's got a headache. I can't help him. Okay. Mortimer. Pippa. Alright. Go this way. It's almost back to where the game started, basically. Opium. I'm not going through the sewers of... Ow! Put me on fire. It's rude. Alright. Is there more than one marker listed? Oh, yeah, there's one there. So remove that. That's Lady Ashbury. Technically, I'm closer to her, but I'll have to come back up before I go to the West End anyway. So we'll do that next. Oh, somebody's yelling. Oh, look, you've got another... Why do you have a werewolf with you? You guys are supposed to dislike anything that's supernatural. Or do you just hate vampires? Alright. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, that's why I've been pressing X instead of square. Alright. Little bit rusty on the game controls. There we go. Oh, look at that. I think I took money from him as I zoomed into him. That's interesting. Maybe that's part of the... Oh, what's going on down here?
Steady, boys!
Guess that's part of the upgrades I did. Hearing a baby cry, that's never a good sign. Do you guys want to play? Why are you all rushing the gate? A good and solid hatchet often found on boats for safety reasons. This one belonged to Archer Woodbead and has clearly been used a lot. I'm guessing that's special because it's blue and the rest of the weapons are greenish. Cool! So, Whitechapel. Oh, Dyson Delaney is missing. Everybody else is dead. These guys are all mostly healthy. There, it's critical. Haven't met them yet. Alright. I hear the rats. I don't want to deal with rats. Hate rats. Am I seriously almost at the... Why is it in red then? Oh, probably because it was overlapping with the... Bloody letter. Dear Mother, whatever happens to me, always remember that your son loves you. I know you did not always approve of the way I chose to live my life, but I won't change. I was born and raised in this part of town, and I just can't stand what is happening to my neighborhood, to people we know. I recently made a terrible decision. I decided to strike back against the tyranny of a few. I know that they will retaliate, but I'm ready for whatever comes. Thanks to you, I've always loved to read. Now that I'm about to take action, I can only quote Etienne de la Boétie. They only seem tall because we are on our knees. I won't kneel anymore, Mother. I intend to stand straight, whatever the cost. Goodbye, my beloved mother, Jack.
There is a name engraved under the blood on the back of the case. Jack Gillingham. Maybe I should return this watch to his family.
Failed. Okay, so... that's the watch in the pockets of the woman killed by the vampire. His mother's brooch. Where would it be? Watch. A small pocket watch with an engraved name partially hidden by dried blood. Okay, nothing immediately. Oh. Swords out means there's somebody around here worth attacking, or who's going to attack me. Quinine. There's a bridge up there. Across the bridge. Why was my sword taken out when there was nobody there? I'm hearing snarling. Where? Oh, you're beneath me. The weird breathing in my ears is not a pleasant sensation. In the slightest. Grease. How do I get... oh, right. There it is. How do you get up there? Can I whoosh? Cannot whoosh. Can whoosh up here, though. Where does this go? Oh, hideout. Well, it's not a new hideout, but it's a hideout nonetheless. Recyclable weapons to analyze nothing. Okay. It's probably one of the first hideouts I found. Alright. So I'm pointed up. I have to go this way. But how do I get there? Alright. can't get over there. So let's go talk to... I'm right friggin' there, too. Let's go talk to Lady Ashbury again. And take that one off, because being near this event thing won't get me anywhere yet. And then once I've talked to Lady Ashbury again, I'll go to the Ascalon Club. Can I whoosh over there? No. Alright. Oh, what's in here? You look fancy. Cover letter. Hello, Frank. How are you, my old friend? It was good to see you last week. Next time, let me get the rounds in. Hope everything is okay on your side of town. Here in your old neighborhood, the situation is getting worse. Clay is getting more violent every day, and is only thinking about the expansion, even when it seems there are some new players around, trying to dispute our territory. The Wet Boot Boys are in a bad spot, I'm afraid, so I thought about what you said the last time we met, that you've never regretted leaving the gang, that the only thing you regret is never being able to put foot in the East End again, to avoid a good beating or worse. Well, rest assured that you'd have my protection if you decide to pass by, and maybe we could talk again about new opportunities and job offer. You know I have always been good with numbers, so maybe if you need an accountant in your company, let's talk about that, shall we? Say hello to your wife for me. WBB for life, old chap, Booth Digby. Interesting, I'll have to find him and talk to him again. Let's talk to Lady Ascalon again. Not Ascalon. Ashbury. Not Ascalon. Are you in here? Can I read this book? No. Play the piano? Oh, personal diary. 9th May 1918. Oh, close enough. Tonight I went with Mother visiting the sick of the East End. It had been a long time since I went in this sad part of town. To see her talking and listening to those poor people moved me beyond words. She really tries to make a difference and tries to help these men and women. She also killed one of them tonight. It happened so quickly I did not even notice. She had vanished, but when she reappeared, she looked so much more alive, more vivid. I immediately knew what had just happened. She took a life, and I saw nothing. We returned home without a word. If I ever become like her, I won't feed on the dying. I will kill the guilty and the brutes wherever they hide. 13th September 1914. This afternoon, 2 men tried to corner me in a back alley while I was campaigning for the women's right to vote. I called for help as loud as I could, just like Mother told me. I don't know what would have happened if a soldier had not ordered them to leave me alone. He then walked me back home and tried to kiss me. I refused, he did not say a word, and left. The whole story made me so sad I was still crying when Mother woke up after the night had come. I told her the whole truth, and she held me against her chest. Then we went to the theater to see Doris Fletcher and her new play. I think I'm a little bit frustrated that Mother did not rush out to make them all pay. If I were a vampire, I would not be that merciful. 15th September 1914. We had a terrible argument with Mother last night, as she refused once again to turn me into an immortal. When I reminded her of what had happened to me in the street with those 2 men, and how things would have been different if I had been like her, or if they had carried weapons, she simply smiled and told me that To be part of this world meant to be ready to face it. I'm not sure I understand what she means, but it drives me crazy. I left home in the middle of the night to see Emily at her house, and I spent the whole day there. Maybe it's time for me to leave Mother's house and live my life, just like Emily. I love Mother so much, but it frustrates me so when she refuses to talk about my conversion. 17th February 1915. Tonight I'm as sad as I am excited, for I'm about to leave this house for good. Mother has agreed to let me have my own flat in the West End, as long as it's not too far from her house. I had to promise her I would be very careful. I told her how much I love her, and she told me she was proud of me. I understand now that she only wants me to be as strong and independent as she is. I must admit I am very thankful for all she has taught me through the years. She made me the woman I am today. Now it's time for me to choose where to go from here. Whatever I'm going to do with my life, it's up to me. All I know is this. If I ever choose to become an immortal, I will not involve my mother in my choice, for this is my life and I'm responsible for my actions. Ooh, things are getting spicy up in here. Charlotte Ashbury. Charlotte is still hoping to become a vampire despite her mother's disagreement. Unknown health status, so I haven't met her yet. I'm sure that will change when I find my way to the Ascalon Club. I feel kind of bad rifling through Lady Ashbury's stuff, but I need to talk to her, and Chinese means I can interact with it. It's not my fault. It's theirs for putting shinies where I noticed them.
It's locked, all right.
Oh. Dracula. To the inspiring Lady Ashbury, there are darknesses in life and there are lights. You are one of the lights, the light of all lights. Bram Stoker, 4 August 1897. She knows Dracula. Or at least she knows Bram Stoker. Oh, there you are.
Hello again, Jonathan. To what do I owe the pleasure of your visit?
Sorry to disturb you again, but could you spare me a few minutes?
Of course, my dear. Always a pleasure to speak with you.
Oh, if the epidemic has affected many people in the West End.
I confess I've been more concerned by events in the East End. The wealthy have more efficient ways of dealing with infection.
But this is no common epidemic.
That is true. I must tell my daughter to stay at home for a few days. But the girl is stubborn and fiercely independent. Much like her mother.
Concerning your investigation,
Yes?
are you truly seeking to identify my maker?
I cannot promise you anything, but yes. I am conducting some research of my own.
Do you think we shall ever see better days? Or at least, better nights?
I know not, Jonathan. I have seen some horrid days in my long lifetime. Experience has taught me that one cannot outrun the fates.
Will you tell me your story one day, Lady Ashbury?
One of them, perhaps. I have had so many lives, Jonathan. Eternity may not be enough to relate them all.
When all of this is over, the war and the epidemic, we could leave the city for a while. Travel around Europe, you and I.
Traveling is always so complicated for us poor creatures of the night. But yes, I would be glad to travel the world with you, my dear.
Yay! Nothing else I can ask you.
Goodbye, Elizabeth.
Pay no mind as I'm about to go through your cupboard. The Blood Night Tragedy new collectible. Only a few of us remain after the shock of the Great Hunt. I was one of them. I remember how the sudden attack of the enemy caught us all by surprise. Blood was shed during those few nights. Some of us who survived chose to exile. I don't blame them, but I regret their lack of fortitude. For its courage, we need to protect the interest of the Empire. Courage, we need to defend the values we stand for. May we all remember that William Marshall himself never lowered his head. My beloved Maker may be long gone now, but his presence is still among us. We keep a few drops of his sacred blood to remind us what we are and what we seek: honor, purity, and excellence. I had the privilege of speaking with the knight many times, as his progeny and as his friend. He spoke to me of the tier of angels, the holy beverage supposed to appease the inextinguishable hunger we all feel, that he never ceased to search, even without knowing if such artifact exists. I admired his tenacity. It is this tenacity, this indefectible belief in something bigger than us, that will make us survive any future great hunt launched by our enemies. Ascalon will be rebuilt, always, for it is an ideal. From the Law of Ascalon by Lord Redgrave, founder. So that was a great hunt. Collectible. Oh, look, she's painting. Is that me you're painting? It is so. All right. All right. To Ascalon. Oh, I missed a cupboard. Where's this door lead? Nowhere. All right. Ascalon. Okay. Let's see what Redgrave has to say. Ooh, that looks like the car from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, only with a top. Let's take that checker off. All right. I'll figure out how to get down to that event in a little while. There's a hideout there. Where's the hideout? Why can't I go in through that doorway? I have to go up and around.
The West End. Never have I felt so sad to be back home.
This was mine! Fight for it! Filthy fucking...
Watch your mouth. Where is she? There she is. Ooh! She exploded like Dorothy did. Did she explode into a thing of sulfur? A bracelet and shillings. Go over there in a second. What's up here?
This is now my domain, young Ekon.
Ooh, where are you? There you are. Get off. There we go. All right. Is there a way to remove that? You know what? We'll equip that again. Who are you?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. Do you need help, sir?
I think I'm fine. But what happened to my jailer? Be careful. He's as vicious as he is strong.
You don't have to worry about him anymore. What happened here?
I am Tadao Kimura. I was imprisoned by this lunatic for several days. I thought I was going to die here.
You're not going to die now, Mr. Kimura. If you hurry, you should be able to get home safely.
It seems that I owe you my life. You have all my gratitude, Dr. Reid, since it is the most precious thing I possess.
No, nothing else I can say to you. You're healthy. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Kimura. Take care.
Oh, yay! Investigation succeeded. Oh, Heresy of Pureblood, new collectible. Pureblood. We know the expression. We have heard it in the foul mouth of the heretics and the foreign barbarians. Used it sometimes ourselves, but do we really know what it means? A vampire born from an immortal belly. What a disgusting idea. How would such a creature find its place among the living? What would be its purpose? Ours is clear, gentlemen. Ascalon is here to protect the Empire and all its citizens. We are the protectors and shepherds, even when sometimes sacrifice a sheep for our sustenance. Whoever will be found guilty of succumbing to the desire of breeding immortal child, shall be eradicated from the law of Ascalon by Lord Redgrave, founder. So that was Origin of the Vampires. Ooh, shiny. All right. these guys... Oh, look, another one has exploded into sulfur. What is this? Why are you poofing into sulfur? Where are you? Oof. That's a lot of sulfur. Quarantine.
This is despicable.
Well, they're the first rats I've seen in a while, so it's not as horrible as it could have been.
I have this thirst for blood.
Still disgusting, though. The hideout's over here.
The Ascalon Club. The heart of British vampire society. Not quite as subtle as I expected.
Who are you?
Good evening, miss.
Oh my god, no. Please, Mr. Vampire, don't kill me. Please, no. I'm too young to die. I still have so much to offer this world.
Wait, no. Why do you think I would... What?
Don't worry, Dr. Reid. I know you wouldn't harm me. Mother told me you were in this part of town and might drop by.
Your mother?
My name is Charlotte, sir. Charlotte Ashbury. My mother taught me long ago how to recognize the signs that betray a vampire.
I understand she also taught you how to tease and gently mock innocent young Ekons. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Charlotte.
Okay. New people. I don't want to ask you that just yet. So we'll go your life in London.
What do you think about this part of town?
I was raised here, and I suppose it feels like home. You grew up in this part of town too, did you not?
Yes, I was born a few streets away.
A small world, is it not? Did you ever imagine that my mother was your neighbor all that time? That you could have met her in a dark alley at night?
Tricked me twice, young lady. We both know Lady Ashbury never hunts or attacks prey at random.
Come on, Doctor. Don't tell me you never thought about that possibility. Her fangs on your neck. Oh, are you blushing, Dr. Reid?
Is there something that's bothering you?
Too much selfishness and individualism for my taste. Even when there was no epidemic.
Even if that's partly true, may I remind you that many charitable institutions are financed by the selfish and filthy rich.
I suppose you're right. But society must reform and renew itself, or we are all done for.
What are you doing out here?
You mean, what do I do outside at night, since I am a woman? Let me ask you a question, sir. Would you ask the same question of a man?
Actually, yes. I ask the same question to everyone who dares to go outside at night, considering the risks.
Well, if you must know, I campaign for the right to vote for all women. Why should I wait to the age of 30 years when men can vote at 21?
How are the locals reacting to your claims?
People here can't wait for a wall to be built to isolate the West End from the rest of town. That's how progressive they are. If this happens, Emily and I will blow it up.
Explosives are very dangerous, young lady. And who is this Emily?
She is my best friend, and a suffragette too. She was supposed to campaign with me tonight, but hasn't turned up.
Have you any reason to be worried about her?
Recently, Emily started to believe in... well, she got interested in vampires. I'm afraid she might be in trouble.
Let me guess. You spoke to her about us, didn't you? Despite your mother's warning. I think I should try to find your friend.
Oh, that would be top-notch. I can tell you where she might have gone. You have my thanks, Dr. Reid. And please, don't tell my mother.
Are you a suffragette, then? Oh, you really are Elizabeth's girl. Without a doubt.
All adult women have the right to vote in the US, in New Zealand, and in Australia. But women here can't vote unless they are property owners.
No need to convince me, Miss Charlotte. I have shared your opinion for a long time. Even before I met Emmeline Pankhurst.
Really? Oh. Now I see why my mother appreciates you so much. Too bad there aren't more men like you in the vicinity.
Alright, what do you know about me?
What exactly has your mother told you about me?
Your name and profession, obviously. And the mystery about your maker. I'm sorry to hear about what happened to your sister, sir. Mother says it was not your fault.
Does it not scare you to know what I am? What your mother is?
Why should it? My mother is the most compassionate woman. Must I be wary of her, Dr. Reid? Or you?
Of course not. You have nothing to fear from me, or your mother.
Good to know. And don't worry, my mother told me everything I need to know about vampire tricks, their nature as well as features.
Your mother is not like any other vampire I've met.
I believe she thinks the same about you, Dr. Reid.
Tell me about your adoption.
What do you want to know?
How did you meet Lady Ashbury?
First, I was an orphan in the institution for girls she manages in the West End. When I was 10, she adopted me, and I have lived with her ever since.
Did you know she was a vampire when she picked you?
The correct word is Ekon, Doctor. And no, I had no idea why my mother only showed up at night. She told me everything when I turned 16, though I suspected the truth for a long time before that.
Who are your real parents?
Elizabeth Ashbury is my real mother. She raised me and has taken care of me all my life. I have no idea who my progenitors are or were.
Do you live with her?
I still spend a lot of time in my mother's mansion, but I have my own house now. I have a life to live, you see. And one day, I'll have my death to face.
Let's see, she's healthy.
Do you know why Lady Ashbury chose you to become her daughter?
No, I don't. Each time I ask her that question, she smiles and says it's precisely because I dare to ask such questions.
Do you ever regret that she chose you?
Of course not. Though I often wonder if she adopted others before me. If so, where are they buried? How was it for them to pass through life with a never-aging mother?
Your mother has refused to turn you into a vampire. Tell me more about it.
Each time we argue, Mother expresses the same fear. She wants me to remain alive and full of joy, rather than become melancholy and immortal. She claims you can't have one without the other. It's pure selfishness.
Your mother has walked this earth for much longer than you or I. She is wise, and we should not ignore her advice when we disagree with it.
But why shouldn't I be allowed to forge my own experience? There can't be only one righteous way to deal with eternity.
It's your mother's choice. As daughters and sons, we have to accept the decisions our parents make for us despite our own wishes.
I love my mother, and have accepted everything from her. Even that she named me Charlotte, when it was not my original name.
Does it bother you?
No. Whoever I was when I was born, I am now Charlotte Ashbury. It hurts as much as it makes me proud to know that's the name my mother will read on my tombstone.
Why do you still hope to become a vampire in spite of your mother's refusal?
It's the immortal aspect of vampires that interests me. The world won't improve unless women take charge. I'm convinced of that.
You're obviously a clever woman with a good education and a brilliant future. But have you thought about the price you'd have to pay? The loneliness, the necessary masquerade.
Is it not true of every high position? To change this world and make it a better place, one needs time on one's side.
Tell me, Charlotte, how do you plan to achieve eternal life, since you've obviously given it a lot of thought?
I won't give up. You have no idea how determined I am, sir. I may contract a deadly disease. I may throw myself under a carriage, just to be saved by her sweet kiss.
That's a disturbing answer, young lady. And the worst part of it is, I know you speak the truth.
There are less dangerous ways, Doctor. Instead of throwing myself under a horse like Emily Davison, I could just throw myself into your arms.
And then I'd have to deal with your mother's wrath. No, thank you. Never stop playing this game. Be very careful.
Stop playing this game at once, Charlotte. This is unworthy of you, of your mother, and of myself.
I'm sorry, Dr. Reid. Please forgive me. That was stupid.
Goodbye, Charlotte. Give my best regards to your mother when you see her.
She's been quite busy these last few nights. I suspect you may see her before me.
I just did. Oh, I hope that choice doesn't be too badly reflective on me. Oh, what are you? Ooh! Official health warning. To the citizens of London, curfew. Official health warning. Curfew will be sounded at 9 p.m. by the church bells. All citizens must keep off the streets from that time until 5 a.m. Blank further notice. Blank had been implemented. Blank you wear your mask to prevent the spread of infection. Blank household becomes ill. Inform the authorities immediately. Blank to the curfew. Blank opened after 9 p.m. Someone was trying to burn that notice. Who are you?
Good evening, miss. Can I help you? I'm a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reid.
I am Karina Billow. I don't need any doctor. The rats. Where are the rats?
Miss, you don't seem well at all. Are you afraid of rats? Has one bitten you?
No, it's me who bites them. Tasty, juicy, disgusting rats. I can't stop eating them. Help me, please. Help me to disobey the voice. Ew!
What happened to you?
The rats. The answer hides in their little crunchy bones. Their juicy, tiny brains.
Miss Billow,
Blech.
try to concentrate. Why do you worry about rats so much?
The voice in my head. He forces me to do so. Drink their blood, he said. Eat their flesh.
He can't give you something else to chew on than rats?
Do you feel compelled to obey that voice, Miss Billow? Even if you're loath to submit to it?
Yes. Please. Help.
Ick.
Tell me about the voice in your head. Who is it? Can you describe it? Is it someone you know? Someone you met?
Keep your mouth shut, he said. Don't ever speak about me, or I'll abandon you. Help me, please, Doctor.
What is the local news hereabouts, Miss Billow?
Shadows. Shadows hunting shadows. Whispers in the dark. Pestilence. Suffering. Death.
Tell me about yourself, Miss Billow. What do you do for a living?
Oh, I'm hungry. I need to eat. Have you got something for me? Blood, perhaps? Can you give me blood, Dr. Reid?
Don't you remember who you are, miss? What you did for work?
I was strong, proud. I campaigned for good causes. But that was before. Before. It does not matter anymore. I'm so hungry.
Can I get anything else from you? No, I cannot. You're healthy.
I must go now. Goodbye, Miss Billow.
Goodbye, crazy rat lady. Oh, what are you? Sappho. Royal Garden Hall Theatre. Clyde Fitch presents Doris Fletcher, Sappho. That's a different picture than the other one was. Ah, who are you?
Good evening, sir. May I have your attention, please?
Come on, Johnny. Don't you recognize your oldest friend?
Clarence. Clarence Crossley. How are you? My God. So you survived the war too. So sorry I didn't recognize you at first.
I almost didn't recognize you either. War does that to men, I heard. In my case, it was true, for I witnessed the horror that lies underneath.
Okay. Oh, you've got a migraine. I don't have the treatment for migraine. Your life in London. When did you come back?
When did you escape the war and return to London?
You know what's funny? I almost never think about the war. Not anymore. I'm involved in another kind of battle now.
What is this new battle of yours?
I saw terrible things during the war. Horrors I thought I'd forget. They're here too. They're everywhere. Vampires.
I am one, but I guess you don't know that.
I know what you mean. I haven't had much time to think about the war either since my return.
Of course. With the epidemic, I bet you've been busy as well. Forgive me, Johnny. I didn't want to sound selfish.
How is your wife, Venus?
We've spent so much time away from each other. And so many things have happened.
Is everything all right at home? Surely Venus was relieved to see you return from France in one piece.
Have you forgot what people are like in this part of town, Johnny? Venus fears for our family reputation. Now her husband has become the village idiot.
But you're alive. You returned in one piece and you have a family. How many soldiers can say the same?
Believe me, it's not quite that simple. Unlike you, I'm not the man I used to be.
Did I miss anything? No, I'll have to come back and talk to him later.
Clarence. You should try to sleep.
Goodbye for now, friend. Alright, Ascalon Club. The Ascalon Club.
Do you know where you are standing right now?
In front of the Ascalon Club, I presume.
The Ascalon Club only summons or ostracizes. What is your business tonight?
I received an invitation. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid.
Welcome to the Ascalon Club, then, Dr. Reid. Please proceed. Lord Redgrave is waiting on you upstairs.
Okay, then. I'll come back and investigate.
There has been quite a battle here.
Oh, come back and investigate after I talk to Redgrave.
I'm sure the Ascalon Club has the money to replace the furniture.
Are you in here? Key to the basement. Yep, there we go.
Good evening.
Roses.
My good friends, if I may have your attention. Behold our visitor, the good Dr. Reid. Newborn of blood so pure and strong that even my friend Fergal Bansher was no match for him.
Here, here, here.
Come forward, young Ekon, for we have so much to discuss. Welcome to the Ascalon Club, Dr. Reid. I am Lord Redgrave, Earl of Bristol and chairman of this exclusive association.
Lord Redgrave.
At last we meet. I've been eager to make your acquaintance. I've heard some astounding things about you. Please accept my condolences for your loss, Dr. Reid.
Thank you, my lord. Lady Ashbury expressed your wish to meet me.
Yes. The lady has always been a useful acquaintance, though not always reliable. Is she a good friend of yours?
I don't like these because they're always tricky and they always bite me in the arse. I admire her. She's a close friend. I feel like this is gonna try and turn me against her, but let's go with close friend.
She's a close friend, and I'm honored that she feels the same about me.
The centuries have taught me never to trust a woman completely, especially if she is immortal. Too prone to emotions, if you ask me. Too fickle when it comes to important decisions.
My lord, do not expect me to speak ill of Lady Ashbury.
Of course not, and I praise your loyalty. Would you offer the same fidelity to the Empire?
What do you mean?
I speak of the Skull Plague that threatens London and the country. You have been on the front line in the East End, but the time has come to open up a second front here.
The epidemic has escaped the quarantine. You have new cases of the outbreak.
We don't know for certain, but we cannot allow the disease to threaten the prominent heads of Great Britain.
Why now? Why me? Why suddenly so friendly? Let's go with why me.
Why do you suddenly need me?
The Ascalon Club only recruits the best, and you definitely fit the bill. Your scientific and medical reputation alone would qualify you as a candidate.
You want me to find possible sources of the outbreak in the West End. Is that it?
Ah, straight to the point, like all eager newborns. We shall have time to talk about all this, Dr. Reid, but first, I should like to get to know you better.
Talk? Is that the only reason you asked me here?
Well, no. I also wanted to meet the intriguing Ekon who made such a powerful progeny of his sister. You have not learned the name of your maker, am I correct?
No. I really don't like these choices because any one of them could come back and bite me, or he could actually truly know something and be helpful. Let's go with no, I don't.
No, I haven't.
Have no embarrassment, Dr. Reid. We all make mistakes. But whatever your lineage, you are definitely Ascalon material.
What do you mean?
I would like you to become a member of the Ascalon Club, and to serve me as such.
I have questions.
Before I accept, I have so many questions.
Please ask.
What does it imply?
What does it mean to be a member of the Ascalon Club?
It means that you swear to protect the interests of the Crown, that you become a loyal servant of the British Empire.
Am I supposed to follow orders?
As founder and chairman of the club, I alone am entitled to make demands of our members. And I do appreciate obedience.
Do you have any official recognition from the government? A charter from His Majesty the King?
No. Of course, the Ascalon Club publicly supports the Empire, but the true nature of its members remains a secret.
I killed Fergal, who claimed to be one of yours. Sent to cleanse the East End of all Skulls. Will his death be an issue?
Do not worry. My priorities have changed. Fergal was a zealous servant of mine, but like any servant, he had his limitations and is readily replaced if necessary.
What is the Ascalon Club's express purpose?
We follow the credo of William Marshall, the greatest knight who ever lived. As was he, we are sworn to protect the British Empire.
What does Ascalon mean?
Ascalon was the lance wielded by St. George, glorious patron saint of England when he slew the dragon. And like that lance, we pierce the hearts of all our nation's enemies.
William Marshall founded the Ascalon Club.
Not exactly. William Marshall granted me immortality, and I founded the club a few years later. The good knight has been gone for so long.
It doesn't give me any option to decline, so I guess I have no choice. I'm in.
I agree to join the club.
This is good news. Good news indeed in these crucial times. Let's inform the Assembly formally and proceed with your initiation.
My initiation?
Fear not. Nothing fancy nor dangerous. It is just that we, the members of Ascalon, believe that tradition and custom are the backbone of this country.
What's the initiation entail?
My fellow members, dear friends, please gather and welcome this Ekon as one of our own.
Is he worthy? Is his blood pure?
Well, speak, Dr. Reid, in front of the most sacred blood. The blood of our beloved William Marshall. Speak now. Will you serve and protect the crown as he did?
Yes, I will.
Then, young Ekon, it is time to testify with your blood.
Great, I gotta sign the book in blood.
It is time to sign the Book of Allegiance. I know it's awfully gothic and a tad pedantic, but England's traditions are the backbone of our nation.
Knee. Right in the wrist. Well, I guess with him being a doctor, wouldn't matter
Delightful.
too much.
Welcome to the Ascalon Club, Dr. Reid. Take your place among the bearers of the lance.
One of us! One of us!
Talk to Lord Redgrave. I'll get back to him in a minute.
I personally went patrolling last night in the West End, and I spotted at least 2 foreign Econs. This is an outrage. We shall chase these intruders down.
Come back down here and grab the shinies. Ooh, that's a door I'll go into after. What's in here? Another door. Ooh, phonograph. Ooh. History and purpose of the Ascalon Club. The Ascalon Club is an association of gentlemen secretly aiming for the protection of the Crown's interests. I founded it in 1837 to honor and perpetuate the legacy of my maker, William Marshall, 1st Earl of Pembroke and true protector of England. All the members of the club must be of good extraction and flawless moral fiber. Since a club accepts mortal members who will be duly observed and valued as proper candidates for immortality, the goal of the club is to impose respectable traditions and behaviors amongst the good vampire society, but also to promote and expand the imperial hegemony of England. We are the true elite British society. We are Ascalon, the holy lance held by St. George, protector of England. When the saints slew the dragon, as lance bearers ourselves, we vow to defend the empire's interests. From the law of Ascalon, Lord Redgrave, founder. Alright, can I go in here? Yes, I can. Not much in. Oh, stairs. Oh, that's the basement. I probably have to go into that later. Alright, let's go back upstairs and talk to him. Good dagger. Offhand melee weapon, strong but small knife, mainly used to pierce and rip open the opponent. Ooh, blood absorption. And it's blue, which probably means that it's special. Let me speak with this gentleman.
Good evening, Dr. Reid. How does it feel to be this evening's centerpiece? Figuratively.
Not sure. Let's go with uneasy.
It's quite unsettling. As a doctor, I am more used to being the observer than the subject observed.
Do not be alarmed. The Ascalon Club has a tried and tested policy for choosing its initiates.
May I ask who you are, sir?
Why would you be interested?
Well, as you seem to be the only man in the room with a beating heart, you draw quite a bit of attention yourself.
Ah. Vampire senses never cease to fascinate me. They dwarf those of mere mortals. I am Aloysius Dawson, by the way.
Aloysius. What an interesting name.
Are you a member of the club?
Yes, I am. And I have been for many years. And will be until the day I die.
What can you tell me about it?
It's not really my place to give you such information. I am merely a mortal member, and a dying one at that.
Are you sick?
Personally, I consider my advancing years are a sickness in itself. My body is slowly abandoning me, Dr. Reid.
Translation, he's old.
Are you not afraid? You are surrounded by vampires.
Sir, it's for that very reason that I joined the club in the first place.
Intriguing.
So you asked for membership?
I have been a member of many clubs in many countries. But I must admit, this one is my favorite.
Is not the nature of this club a secret, shared by only a privileged few?
My dear Dr. Reid, I have spent years and a fortune precisely to gather that kind of information.
What can you tell me about Lord Redgrave?
I would not dare speak of our chairman without his consent.
Mr. Dawson, of Dawson and Dawson, the wealthiest man in England. It is a pleasure to meet such a prominent figure of London.
A withering London figurehead, to be precise.
Are you sick, Mr. Dawson? I am a doctor, you know.
My case is beyond the scope of traditional medicine. I have spent fortunes on the world's most competent doctors to arrive at that diagnostic conclusion.
I'm sorry to hear that, sir. Should I suppose that you're here in search of some form of immortality?
Absolutely not. I'm here to implement my plan to save the city I was born in. To cast out the ghastly evil that has us all on our knees.
What do you know about the Guard of Priwen?
I should not say this, but I admire their commitment. This is what the nation needs right now.
Would you help them?
No. There is a time for such methods. But brute force will not be enough to fight this plague. We have to think differently.
But they are our enemies.
They are not mine, Dr. Reid.
What is the situation like in this part of town?
I am sure Lord Redgrave will enlighten you more effectively than I.
Money cannot solve every problem. This mysterious epidemic is going to require more than money can buy.
You're right. Money is nothing unless one has the will to wield it. I have a plan, sir. A radical one that will save all that is essential in London.
What is your plan, then?
Quarantine and barricades are futile. What we need is a wall. A formidable, unscalable wall. To isolate the deserving from the infected masses.
That's terrifying. Unfair, dangerous, efficient. You know what? Dangerous. Or do I go unfair?
But that would segregate the rich from the poor, would it not? It would be unjust.
Our only course of action must be to save England. And to save England, we have to make sacrifices.
Are you not mistaking sacrifice for summary execution?
Why do you care? Are you not a vampire? Removed from all mortal concerns? Decisiveness is what the city needs. And it needs it now.
Not sure how I feel about him. You know what? Let's go talk to these two first. Can I talk to you? No, you're in a conversation. How about you? Alright. Lord Redgrave.
That went well, did it not? It is always useful to bolster the troops' morale, especially before a difficult battle.
You have the makings of a general, my lord.
I was, though very long ago. Well, not quite a general, but a proud defender of the crown.
So why did you really want to meet me?
Straight to the point again, young Ekon. All right, let's talk, you and I, Lance Sparrow.
I'm listening, my lord.
According to my spies, you have worked with Dr. Edgar Swansea on the epidemic, and your findings were quite alarming.
Do you know Edgar Swansea?
Not personally, but I've been told he has some sort of immortal fetish, and is a good friend of yours.
Does it bother you that I consider him my good friend?
As long as you reveal nothing of the club's inner workings, why should I forbid you engaging in conversation with the good Dr. Swansea?
You were spying on me?
Not personally. I rarely leave this building. But once he found you, Fergal kept me informed. Until you put an end to his mission.
Serves him right.
Who was Fergal? I don't see him sipping tea with the others in the club.
Fergal Banshire was my squire of sorts. Even before becoming that magnificent beast, he was a brute. He served me well for decades.
No, I mean, what was he? He was clearly no ordinary vampire.
No, he was a Volcod. All muscles and instinct. Quite the rare breed. Ferociously territorial. Mortals often mistake them for werewolves.
You do know I killed him.
Yes.
Will you bear ill will towards me for his death?
Of course not. Your victory was quite impressive and courageous. You earned my respect.
So he was more werewolf than vampire? I'm intrigued.
Yes, I'm convinced the recent invasion of frenzied Scals in London is directly linked to the epidemic. This is not the Spanish flu, but something else.
I would be glad to hear more of your discoveries, Dr. Reid, but for now, my main concern is the security of London's inhabitants, both mortal and immortal.
What do you mean?
Alarmed by the epidemic, the Guard of Prewen has started a war against us British vampires. To appease the situation, we must eradicate the Scals.
Some Scals are peaceful.
I have met peaceful and wise Scals. To exterminate them means we are no better than vampire hunters.
Scals are hideous, shameful creatures that give all Ekon a bad name.
So, what do you want me to do?
I want you to investigate the city thoroughly. I have reason to fear there are cases of contagion in this part of town. Our absolute priority is to find and cleanse them.
And how would you like me to proceed?
By all means necessary, Dr. Reid. You are now a member of the Ascalon Club, and you have carte blanche. Interrogate the locals, follow all the leads you find, and get results.
Ooh. Why did my screen go red like that? Ooh. Let's go down to that basement. Was it this door? Oh, that's not friendly. Where are we going? Oh, that takes me outside. I don't want to go back outside. Alright, so it was the other doorway that led to the basement. What's down here? Nothing of immediate. Nope, can't open that door. Letter. Of the recreational use of blood. As Ascalon members, we always tend to respect etiquette. We are, in all ways, members of the good society, sometimes recognized as public figures. We do not find our delight in orgies and bloodbaths, like our adversaries assert we do. And if one of us were caught in such caricatured and immoral act, he would receive the appropriate opprobrium. But what of the blood? What about it is recreational use? How could we deny the ecstasy the vermilion ambrosia brings us? And with what else could we toast with, as any good fraternity should? To answer this delicate question, the law of conduct inside the club goes as follows. As long as the original mortal vessel is not brought inside our walls, each member is allowed to drink whatever he wants for his own usage or to share it with friends. Drink what you want, deal the way you want with the original vessel, but never inside the club unless I personally authorize it on some special occasion, of course. From the Law of Ascalon, Lord Redgrave, founder. Huh. Alright. Other than the collectible, that was essentially useless. So let's go find some local people to talk to now. Oh.
Welcome to the Ascalon Club, then, Dr. Reid.
Oh, you're not useful. Back outside we go.
I think Lord Redgrave just suggested I was sired by an ancient vampire.
Women's right to vote is only the first step.
All right.
Good evening, Miss Ashbury.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reid.
Charlotte, what do you know about local sources of infection?
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual recently?
A few days ago, I spotted a strange house while campaigning for women's suffrage. Awful smell. No answer when I knocked.
Where is it?
It's the Mullaneys, a nice family who live in a big house near the park in the eastern part of this neighborhood.
Thank
Goodbye,
you.
Charlotte. Give my best regards to your mother when you see her.
She's been quite busy these last few nights. I suspect you may see her before me.
Shop. Mr. Calhoun.
Good evening, sir. Please forgive me for disturbing you. I'm a doctor.
I never judge a man by his title, but by his attitude. And you are not disturbing me at all. I am Calhoun Russell, and I welcome you.
Well, I must admit it's good to receive a warm welcome for once. I'm Jonathan Reid.
Welcome, Dr. Reid. Welcome to my humble shop.
How is the situation in this part of town?
Life is good and peaceful. We're lucky to live in such an era of progress and wonders.
Are you not concerned about the epidemic?
Oh, I'm sure the authorities would take the appropriate measure if the danger were that high.
It's... You know what? Don't be naive.
You cannot expect the newspapers to expose the truth while the war is still raging. I can assure you that the situation here is desperate.
Well, that's news then. But I can't believe that things are that bad. Are you sure you're not exaggerating a bit? For the thrill of it?
About this place.
I recently found the best steak and kidney pie in the city. I'd be glad to share the address if you want.
Finding a good restaurant? Is that really all that interests you?
Oh, I have many passions, but nothing brings me ecstasy like subtle and exquisite flavors from my teeth to my belly.
I must confess, I have quite specific tastes when it comes to nutrition.
Really? Well, I'm always happy to try new exotic meals. If you ever find an intriguing table, please share the address.
Is it not a little too late to be trading?
On the contrary, it is the perfect hour. Believe me, my friend, it is always at night that you meet the most fascinating characters.
But what about the epidemic? The bombs and raids? And all the random violence?
Please, sir, this is London, England. We will prevail. And if a bomb must fall on my shop, then I'll be there to hear it falling.
So you prefer to work at night?
Oh, I also enjoy a sunny day like everybody else. But the night always has a certain je ne sais quoi of its own.
Do you have any family nearby?
Not since my parents died. Own gourmet.
London's lone gourmet. What a strange title.
I used that name in my early years when I was a food critic, and I kept it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Really? But you seem to be such a pleasant and sociable fellow.
I'm afraid the real hedonist has to be sometimes. I discovered ecstasy as a solitary pleasure, but it does not mean it can't ever be shared.
Alright, let's see what you
I
have.
may have a look at your goods, Mr. Russell.
Trade first, and then ask for information. Lead plate, lead stick, pardon me, lead rod, glass vial, quinine. Do you have potassium? You have potassium permanganate. I don't know if it's a... Alright. Cotamine, opium, trigger parts. What are you? Good dagger, Giselle's dagger, common pistol, Milton shotgun. Ink pen. When did I get an ink pen? Perfume, small pocket watch, silver mirror, cigarette case, elegant cigarette case made of embossed silver. It's engraved with the name Andrew Woodbead, probably kept by his father to remember his missing son. The bracelet. Press and hold. Okay, so bracelet's gone. Sean's cross. Beautiful flower. Necklace. Small bag of junk. A ring. Anything that can be recycled, I'm going to hold on to. Alright.
Good evening, Dr. Reid. A great night, what?
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual?
Not really. Wait, now that you mention it, I don't see the McPhersons in my favorite restaurants. They love delicate meals too, you understand.
Thank you. It may be nothing, but I'll investigate anyway. Where do they live?
They have a house in the southern part of the district, somewhere north of the railway bridge. There is a courtyard, if I remember rightly.
Thank you.
Mr. Russell, I'm sure you'll take care of yourself.
Please, sir, whether you need to buy something or not, I am happy to help.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Good evening, old chap. Are you all right?
I won't lie to you, Johnny. I'm not a well man.
I don't have anything for migraines yet.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Can you help me?
Infection is everywhere these days. But if you ever go to the park near that swanky house belonging to the Mullaneys...
Yes? What about the Mullaneys? What about their house?
Not enough noise for a big family with children. Not enough movement. Closed doors. What is going on in there? I wonder.
Any more questions I can ask you? No.
You need some rest, Clarence. You should try to sleep.
Oh, it wants me to talk to specific people. All right.
Why are vampire hunters sniffing her after?
White phosphorus.
We have to stop it! Lost, he's dead!
Oh.
This woman's body has multiple lacerations. They're deep, too. Whoever did this was driven by rage.
First source of infection. How am I supposed to do that? What was that? Is that a cat? What is that? Le Galon, Edmund Foster, Doris Fletcher, Royal Garden Hall, Red Crown Street, London, June to July 1917.
He had his tongue removed and his eyes gouged out.
Oof.
He was a victim of brutal torture.
But why?
This one's neck is broken. Probably the sun.
Oh.
You thought I was dead too, didn't you? No, I was just pretending. Doris told me I could have been a great actress.
You
Oh, goodness.
killed your family.
They mocked my talent.
Stop spitting everywhere. Why are you spewing sulfur?
I've never seen such a radical mutation.
Oof.
Could it be a new stage in the disease's even?
Why are you exploding sulfur? Gather information. Her desk, maybe? Ah. Letter from the Fletcher Acting School. Dear Elsa, it is with the greatest joy that I confirm with this letter your acceptance as a private student into my acting school. The little scene you had the kindness to perform for me last week convinced me that you have what it takes to be a real actress, with stature and courage. As a private student, you'll receive my personal training and coaching. During these intense sessions, you'll be invited to stay at the school, since I strongly believe in total immersion to expose the full potential of my students. So please, remember to bring night attire and anything you may need to spend a week at my school. Yours sincerely, Doris Fletcher.
So, this girl took lessons at the famous Doris Fletcher acting school.
That's what I just said. Reach the source of second infection. Alright, go in here. Remarkable pump action shotgun. Why was that purple? Popular and reliable pump action shotgun manufactured in the United States. Why are you purple? Oh, it's high level. Interesting.
Still your tongue, wife!
Liar, coward! You brought this on us!
You infected the...
Oh, that's never a good sign. Get off of me! Get off of me! Oh, he's dead. And she's down too. Why are you exploding? Why do you have sulfur coming out of a cloud when you die? Why? mirror. What on earth? Just wardrobe. There's no other door. No, doesn't look like it. There's another way upstairs. No. No, that goes outside. Haha, there you are. Love letter. Darling, thank you for the precious perfume and the fur coat. I can't wait to feel your hands on my shivering skin. For only you, my hero, can make me feel that desired. Please come back to me soon, for I am dying to press my timid bosom into your chest again. Yes, my beloved, my precious, come back to me, and I promise you a night of eternal and unbridled passion. Right now I'm wearing nothing but your last gifts. Oh yes, I'm burning for you, and I can't wait for you to share my untamable lust. Your devoted Doris Fletcher. So is the actress at the source of all of this?
So the husband had an affair with Doris Fletcher.
I'll take that as a possibly. Alright, time to find the theater.
Doris Fletcher seems to be the missing link here. It can't just be a coincidence. I should go to her acting school.
Alright, how far do I have to go? Far enough. Ashbury. Nope, she's gotta be upstairs then.
Good evening, Jonathan. How are you?
I'm still investigating from inside the Ascalon Club. Can we talk?
Of course, my dear.
How is your investigation going?
I have decided to explore beyond the dictates of reason.
What do you mean?
You may on occasion find this house closed when you visit me. If so, it is because I have gone undercover. Sort of.
Who are you going to surveil? I hope you're not considering spying on McCullum or the Guard of Prewen.
No. I intend to ask a few questions in parts of town I rarely venture into. Dirty places where a delicate lady like myself should never be seen.
When will you return?
As soon as possible. And I don't intend to stay away for long.
There are many paintings adorning the walls here.
Yes?
Did you paint them?
No, my dear. But some of them. I have had a long time to learn from the best. I'm currently working on...
Painting of me?
What is this masterpiece?
Your portrait, my dear Jonathan. It will be my gift to you, if I ever have time to finish it.
Have you met any famous painters?
Are you trying to divine my age by cross-checking historical dates, my dear? That's a devious parlor trick.
Well, Elizabeth, I tried my best. Don't I deserve some reward at least?
Well, if you must know, I even posed for the greats. Now that you know it, you may recognize me when visiting museums.
That's always neat.
I have investigated new sources of infection, and I may have found a new type of Skal. One suffering from heavy mutations that is extremely contagious.
Skals come in various forms, you know. They are simply degenerate versions of their makers.
I believe these families are different, and I'm currently pursuing a lead. I know I can find the true source of contagion by finding who created these creatures.
That would be great news. Be very careful, my dear, when dealing with such creatures.
Goodbye, my dearest.
Goodbye, my beloved.
Aw, she's sweet. I think she aims to become sweetheart. I mean, they've been flirting enough. Okay, so... since I'm not that far away... yeah, let's go talk to Doris Fletcher and then go back to Swansea. Alright, let's go to the theater and see Dr. Swansea. Oh look, another big boy like Fergal.
Die, newborn!
Huzzah! Not gonna let you get a hit in. It'll cause too much damage. Finding access to the theater. Obviously the front door is locked. Got to like buy a ticket or something to get in.
There's an open window on the second floor. I should be able to get in through that.
Whoosh. Window, 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 window. Aha! Doris Fletcher's acting school.
Woe to you, nations of hypocrites. For in front of you stands the tall queen. You can but lower your head.
Can that be Doris Fletcher's voice? Where does it come from?
Obviously from downstairs. Old Doris Fletcher's diary, London, 17th August 1918. I saw her in the flesh, the witch from my childhood nightmares. The bitch that tortured me for years. I saw her and I shivered. Her voice, her face. I knew she was in that hospital. I knew she was sick, and I wanted to witness her suffering. I may have erased those wicked years from my memory. I can't forget I'm her daughter. When I saw her frail body in that small bed, suffering, sick, defeated, I had to hide my tears, for she was looking at me. She recognized me. She saw the hate in my eyes, and she smiled. My pale corpse of a mother, and it was the worst thing the worst thing was I felt no satisfaction seeing her in so much pain. The worst was not to suddenly remember the beatings and the abuses. No. The worst was to recognize the hate I felt in my heart when she looked at me, for it was the same hate I saw in hers. For in the end, I can't escape being her daughter. We are the same, my mother and I. I'm intrigued. Who's your mother? I wonder if it's old Harriet. Down we go.
raised through hate. But I offer only love.
Can I jump down?
Woe to you, nations of lands.
No, because she probably doesn't know about... Well, she must obviously know about them if she's the one who did them.
This is despicable.
Gross. What's over here? That goes up. This goes down.
Who are you? You who dared enter my realm. Are you here to worship or mock me?
I'm here to put an end to the vampire epidemic, Miss Fletcher.
Ah. But Doris Fletcher is no more. She was consumed by this putrid flesh that now enshrouds her.
You feel anger for what happened to you. But I can help you. I'm a doctor, Miss Fletcher.
Doris Fletcher is no more. All that remains are the dreams of the queen she was, and the queen she'll be. Until then, all shall die, for that was her final wish. Your blood here and obey, for your queen commands. On guard! Touché, sir. Behold, Kinslayer, the disgrace of she whose beauty was once renowned. Will she be the queen again once they all share her fate? I summon thee, my children of the night.
Fight! Maim! Spit! Kill!
Come to me, my servants! Avenge!
Oh, quit spitting venom and whatever else everywhere. Ooh, that's not nice. Put me down. Oh, what the heck? How'd she kill me? Oh, look, a hideout right here. Even better. Alright, so... Workbench. Thick, rich blood sample. What do you get me? Strong blood serum, regenerate instantly 140 points. Okay, got those crafted. 10 blood absorption, 3 to stun. Well, let's increase this. Don't have a used dagger to upgrade it. Maybe Giselle's dagger. Blood absorption. Solid metal gear acquired. And see if we can upgrade you. It doesn't do very much. Pump action shotgun. Let's see if I can upgrade my drag. Yes, I can. Oh, look at that. I could bring you up to max level. That's wonderful. Whoops. And recyclables. Silver fork. Ink pen. Perfume bottle. Silver mirror. Cigarette case. Hold on to that for now. Recycle that, recycle that, recycle that. Okay. Close out of that. Shillings, aluminum shard. The Vampire Club. Where are you? Vampire Club, there you are. Do you think vampires hide in the dodgy areas and the hovels of London? No, they hide in the highest clubs and fancy houses of the West End. I know for a fact that some of them rule the empire in secret. They have a club, they have public figures, they have balls and fancy parties. They aim to control the country and our destinies. We must reveal them for what they are. Greedy enemies of mankind born into this world to bring us all into the eternal darkness of hell. You know them, but don't dare pronounce their names. I will soon, and everybody in London will know the name of the Vampire Club. Clarence Crossley. For more information, please contact me directly. Oh, how right you are, my dear friend. Unfortunately, I'm not going to tell you that. Alright. Refill all of these. Alright, and let's upgrade, because I got my butt whooped. Alright, so let's bring up, what are you? Can I upgrade you? Yes, I can. Okay. else can I upgrade? Let's upgrade the claws. 5 stun or blood. You know what? Let's do blood game. I don't have the... I don't have enough for it. Okay, so I'll do that with my next upgrade. Let's increase the blood. And there's nothing else I can upgrade. So let's go to the next night. Okay. Down through here. And in here.
My blade shall pierce.
Oh, there we go. Dealing more damage to her than I was before.
The disgrace of Sheba's beauty was once renowned. Will she be the queen again once they all share her fate?
Oh, there you go.
Come to me, my servants. Your blood.
Oh!
Wait.
Oh, I got you.
I beg you, wait.
What?
I don't want to die.
And I did not come to kill you, Miss Fletcher.
Will you spare me then? Save this cadaverous carcass of mine. Does your heart beat a little faster now? You fancy me then, Doctor?
No, Miss Fletcher. My dead heart will beat for only one.
Ah! Is she pretty? Is she sweet and tender?
To me, yes.
Ah! I hate her already.
I know. And this is partly why you must be destroyed.
But you just said...
That I did not... But I realize now, the threat you embody must be stopped.
Oh, great. She's gonna set the theater on fire.
Will I be remembered? Will you?
You were Doris Fletcher. The greatest actress of her generation. No one can take that from you.
Thank you. And farewell.
Ooh. Did not see that coming.
Farewell, Doris.
Bravo! So dramatic. I love it.
Oh, I don't want to have to deal with you right now, McCollum.
How strange I seem to find you whenever I'm inquiring about that Skal infestation.
I mean you no harm.
I'm not here for you. But once I put all the pieces of the puzzle together, I'm sure we'll have a little chat. You and me.
Stay away from me, McCollum. You and all your war dogs.
That I can't guarantee, Dr. Reid. But I'll let you go. For now.
Yeah, that's definitely... Ooh, death on stage trophy earned.
The West End should be safe now. But London is not. It would be wise to benefit from the Ascalon's protection, while I continue my research during the Great Hunt. These people want me dead. I need to leave now.
Well, this game is just getting more and more exciting. More and more intriguing as it goes on.
Over there! There's one of them vermin!
Catch me if you can!
So Doris just needed to be close to her audience to infect them. Contagion through skin. Very disturbing.
Before I go talk to Redgrave, I'm gonna go talk to Swansea. Alright. Swansea. There you are.
What news, Jonathan? I've heard you've now joined the vampire elite of London.
Did Elizabeth tell you?
So it's Elizabeth now. My. Things are moving quickly. I turn my back for a moment and away you go.
Oh, hush up, you.
Have you seen Lady Ashbury recently?
Yes, she popped in yesterday. Told me about your new friends in the West End. And no, she was en route to the docks, I think, following a lead concerning your maker.
How's the situation at the Pembroke?
We're still holding out. The question is, for how long? The docks have fallen. The epidemic is spreading fast.
I may have found the source of the contagion. Doris Fletcher, the actress. Thankfully, in the end, she was destroyed by fire.
Really? Oh, please, do tell me more.
Have you heard of similar cases?
No, I don't think so. Except, perhaps, it reminds me of an old report from the Brotherhood. Well, more an article, really.
What was it about?
The author, a friar, referred to a rare form of contagion in a skull he observed during the Black Death. The carrier was always female. Called them Icors.
Doris was a heavily mutated skull. Almost a new breed entirely. It's as if the disease had completely altered her mind and body. Highly contagious.
As if the disease had taken control of her will?
Yes. Once a beautiful and brilliant woman, she became motivated by hate alone.
Oh, she was a beauty. I met her when she visited the hospital to cheer up the sick. Too bad the fire destroyed her. But it was probably for the best.
Indeed.
I'll come back later. Thank you, Edgar.
Always a pleasure to see you, my friend.
Alright, so with that bundle of information rolling around in the back of my brain, let's update one more time. Update my claws first. There we go. Who keeps saying maybe I should leave the city? There's another person over here. Aha, there you are. I heard you. I found you.
We meet again, Mr. Kimura. In a more peaceful situation.
Dr. Reid. Still visiting London by night?
We must both be nocturnal animals, you and I. After your captivity, I thought you'd be more cautious.
Breathing the cold night air helps calm my mind, sir. I've had the most frightening nightmares since I escaped that filthy jail.
May I ask you what you do for a living, Mr. Kimura?
I was a landlord. A wealthy one. And not a very kind one, I realized recently.
Why this sudden epiphany? Is it because of your near-death experience?
I was already feeling nostalgic about Weymouth, my hometown. With recent events, I'm thinking about going back there.
How is the situation in the West End?
I've heard rumors about armed men patrolling and fighting infected citizens in these very streets. I was lucky they didn't shoot me when I was abducted.
What can you tell me about your abduction?
If you really want to know, I was locked in that building for 3 or 4 days. My jailer was insane, mumbling about sacrifice and voices.
What did he say about voices?
He constantly whined about the voice of his master, ordering him to do terrible things. He wanted to silence the voice by offering blood. My blood.
And why didn't he sacrifice you?
That was the weirdest part. He claimed to spill blood was not enough. It had to be done when some stars were aligned.
Which stars?
That's the whole point. He wanted me to talk to him about some Red Queen configuration or constellation. I've never heard of such an astronomical term.
Intriguing.
Why are you so nostalgic for your hometown, Daggz?
I was focused so much on making money, I almost forgot that my relatives and friends are threatened by this epidemic.
Have you heard anything from your family?
I was not only a bad landlord, I was also a bad husband. I've not seen my wife. Busy, busy, busy.
At least now you're ready to go back and see them. But don't be surprised if your son bears a grudge, sir.
You make it sound like you suffered from an absent father yourself, Dr. Reid. Well, I'll keep your warning in mind.
Have you no friends at all?
Over the years, I'm afraid my greed turned me into my friend's adversary, while I became friends with my professional rivals.
Those you grew up with didn't share your views on money and success.
Would you believe I was once a member of poetry circles and an astronomy club? We were young, such joyful dreamers then. But I stopped laughing long ago.
Can you change? And is it what you really want? If so, it must come from within, not without.
I've seen what an altruistic gesture can do. Nothing forced you to save me, Dr. Reid, but you did. I will follow your example in these matters from now on.
There is no need to thank me. Rescuing a London citizen should not be out of the ordinary. Though I'm afraid it may appear so in these difficult times.
You did not only rescue me, you fought for me. You put your life in danger to save me. That's quite extraordinary.
How will you cope if you're attacked again?
I don't know. I've heard about these men and women who patrol the West End every night, chasing Maybe I should join them.
Tell me, Daggz, why was your abductor so interested in your passion for astronomy?
I don't know. We met a few times at the Royal Greenwich Observatory. He seemed to share my hobby. Then he invited me to his house and locked me in.
Did he fake his interest in astronomy to get close to you?
No. In his madness, he spoke about a blood sacrifice to be made to his master when the stars aligned to a specific configuration.
Yes. Astronomy is a fascinating subject. When I was a child, my mother bought a small telescope for my sister and I. We spent many a pleasant evening stargazing.
Stars are not just dots in the sky, Doctor. They are the key to our understanding of the cosmos. They remind us how insignificant we are.
You're right. But children love magic and stories. I remember our mother told us constellations have the power to protect us.
Protection by the light of the stars. That's sweet. You remember the name of these constellations?
Pegasus. It was the constellation my mother liked the most.
Memory's a strange thing. Hesitation, the names of the 88 constellations. yet I barely remember my own childhood.
Goodbye, Mr. Kimura. Take care. Elizabeth, what are you doing here?
I've been formally asked to witness your triumph, my dear. After all, isn't it the natural role of a woman to support her man in victory?
But it's you who insisted I join the Ascalon.
Please forgive my giddiness. I'm just overcome by the thrill of finally being allowed within these hallowed halls.
You certainly have an inquisitive mind. It's quite something. Elizabeth Ashbury, only you can make me smile in these difficult times.
And the same to you, Jonathan Reid. Now go have your little chat with the chairman. I can see he's practically bursting to hear your report.
I mean, it makes sense that she's finally allowed in.
Welcome back to the Ascalon Club, Lance-Bearer. Please, tell us the good news. Have you put an end to the epidemic?
My hypothesis was correct. Doris Fletcher was the source of the contagion in this part of town. She was probably the first to be infected.
And you cleansed her before the hunters, I've been told. Well done, Dr. Reid. The very heart of the corruption.
Ooh, I'm just a doctor. Some questions you know what? Some questions remain.
But some questions remain.
The important thing is, we won a major battle for the survival of London. For that, we salute you.
Thank you, my lord.
Now, I have another task for you. One of the utmost importance. Perhaps even more so than the previous.
I'm listening.
It's time for you to perform a most sacred duty for the club. I want you to recruit a new vampire.
Recruit a new vampire? Are you sending me on some sort of diplomatic mission?
Not exactly. I want you to make Aloysius Dawson the Ekon he deserves to be.
I'm not sure. Yes, no, maybe so.
I'm not sure I'm the best candidate for such a task.
I can hear the hesitation in your voice, Dr. Reid. I admire a man of principles. But in this matter, there is more at stake than your moral comfort.
It's not a moral question, Lord Redgrave. It's the responsibility of giving immortality to a man I barely know.
Nonsense. Aloysius has been a member of the Ascalon for years. This is but the fruition of a long-held plan.
How would you like me to proceed?
Aloysius is waiting for you at the Dawson estate. Once the deed is done, I'll join you there to celebrate this momentous occasion.
Before I go, I have a few questions.
All right, I'm listening.
Why Aloysius Dawson?
Because he is about to die. And he just may be the most influential man in England. After me, of course.
Did he choose me?
No, I did. My decision is very recent, to say the least, but it is entirely mine.
Does he know I'm coming?
He can't wait to become your progeny, Dr. Reid. Especially now that you have shown how strong your lineage is through your sister.
I put her back in her grave. You remember this, right?
How would you like me to proceed?
Don't worry. Aloysius has had many years to prepare himself. He has studied our kind for decades.
So shall I just let him drink my blood?
Yes. Aloysius will gratefully sup on your blood. His heart will slow, then stop. But he will rise again as one of us, an immortal.
Is there any danger?
Our blood alters a mortal body so deeply that some don't survive the metamorphosis. They die for good. But Mr. Dawson has been preparing himself for a long time.
You invited Lady Ashbury. Wouldn't that be breaking one of your cardinal rules? No women allowed.
Not allowed as members, no. But considering the circumstances, I thought you'd like to have her here to witness your triumph.
So it's a temporary admittance, then?
Something of a bargain, considering the crisis we're currently facing.
Goodbye, Lord Redgrave.
So you're only marking it. Aha.
Are you all right, Jonathan?
Lord Redgrave has just ordered me to turn Aloysius Dawson. To make him my...
How do you feel about this?
I'd like your advice.
I'd like your advice on the matter.
The real question here is, why has his lordship given you this task?
Do you think it's some sort of trap?
Do you really want to know what I think about this?
I do, yes.
To make an immortal of a soulless blackguard like Aloysius Dawson will only lead to a disaster for London. The man is already dead inside.
Should I refuse? Perhaps politely suggest that Lord Redgrave turn the man into a vampire himself.
Don't you dare, my dear. According to what I've recently discovered, his lordship could kill you for even broaching the subject.
Really? Why?
I've recently found proof that the Earl of Bristol is of lesser lineage, and only capable of creating skulls.
Please tell me more about your recent investigation.
As long as you lower your voice.
Okay. Advice about Aloysius. Yeah.
The man is dangerous. Did you know he plans to build a wall to separate the healthy rich from the sickly poor? Do not make him your progeny.
What would you do?
The man's dying already. Let the Reaper harvest the rotten fruit that is his soul.
Are you sure your information about Redgrave is correct? He says he's the William Marshal who lived some 9 centuries ago.
That's a lie. Lord Redgrave is unable to create anything but skulls, if the poor souls survive at all.
How can you be sure the information was correct?
I made the acquaintance of a most interesting informer while investigating your maker, from whom I learned the truth about Lord Redgrave.
Why so vindictive? You suddenly sound like you're angry.
Forgive me, Jonathan. I hate myself for it, but I feel such pride in my discovery. I'm afraid I just can't help it.
Which is?
He did serve William Marshal. And yes, the blood he covets as a token does truly belong to that legendary knight. But he was never his progeny. His lineage is not so noble.
What would happen if I made Dawson an Ekon like myself?
You would add a powerful immortal into a suffering world. An immortal who already craves authority.
Maybe I could teach him control, like you taught me. Lead him down the right path.
Mr. Dawson spent his life searching for a way to cheat death. I'm sure he has spent decades dreaming of how he'd spend eternity as a tyrant.
Goodbye for now, Elizabeth.
Goodbye, my dear. Please, be careful.
Many things to consider.
It looks like vampires have to obey Mendel's laws when producing progeny. Powers pass from one generation to another. That's why Dawson wants me to sire him.
Alright, where do I find this turkey? Great, back in the sewers. Not a fan. Hopefully it's a straight line to get through. Probably not, but I mean, a girl can hope. that's locked.
Die, newborn!
Ooh, who are you? Where are you? There you are. Are you like Fargle's replacement?
Show me your...
Violence of the Volcoids. Volcods. Never let the size of the Volcod fool you. These massive bastards can be as quick as any leech, and it can be put down the same way, by puncturing and pinning their rotten carcass to the ground before beheading them. Remember, it's all about preparation, and exploiting your target's weakness. The problem, of course, is that Volcods have no weaknesses. They are strong, fast, sensible, and deadly. They are killing machines with one simple goal, to put their huge claws around your neck. So if any of you lads are unlucky enough to ever face a Volcod, just remember this. Dodge and make it mad. Hurt it, taunt it, and make it lose its temper. Volcod's brain lose it when irritated enough. They stop thinking and start blindly attacking. This is your only chance to win by gaining tactical advantage against the stupid beast. Use it. From Know Your Enemies by Carl Eldritch, Pre-Wen leader. What? Who are you?
Good evening, Miss Price. How are you tonight?
Dr. Reid, I didn't know you had returned from the war. I had a new doctor when you left, but he's not as kind as you.
Always glad to see a former patient in good condition. It's been a long time.
Too long indeed. And as a token of my appreciation, I'll grant you the best price if you fancy buying anything from my humble shop.
What can you tell me about yourself, Miss Price?
I'm still managing my shop. The only difference is, since the quarantine, we're open at night. You, on the contrary, seem to have changed a lot.
Really? Have I changed that much? It must have been the war, and the night shifts since my return.
Don't get me wrong, Dr. Reid, you're still handsome. Just maybe a little bit wiser, more serious. It suits you well.
Tell me more about yourself. No new fiancé? I remember you were hoping to get remarried. I'm sure you must have a few suitors.
Myself with a grown daughter and a little business. As you know, I only fancy handsome men like yourself.
Have you noticed anything in particular in this part of town recently?
Other than you coming back to cheer me up? Nothing at all, Dr. Reid.
Do you know Aloysius Dawson?
Everybody knows him. He's only been to my shop once, though, looking for rare books and other intriguing antiques.
Did he buy something from you?
No, he left quickly. He almost laughed at my goods. Mr. Dawson may be a rich man, but you can't buy good manners.
But isn't Aloysius Dawson known for his philanthropy?
That was before his brother Robert died in an aeroplane crash. Since then, the remaining twin has turned into a heartless tycoon.
Does your daughter still worry you, Miss Price? I remember you were often concerned about her health when she was younger.
Have you not seen Carol since you returned? She's almost a young woman now. But she'll always remain my sweet little baby.
So you're less afraid?
Some things never change. Carol is still too clumsy for her own good. Sometimes her innocence puts her in real danger.
Why would her innocence put her in danger?
She does not realize how cruel life can be. Maybe I was a bad mother to protect her too much. My poor dear Carol.
You have every price. especially in these difficult times.
Maybe you could talk with her, Dr. Reid. It would be nice to have a man here more often. We would both feel safer.
What have
May
you
I
got?
look at your goods, Miss Price?
It's always a pleasure to have you here, Dr. Reid. Take all the time you need.
Quinine. Ferrous tartrate. Sodium hypochlorite solution. Codeine. Potassium. Ergotamine. Opium. Aluminum spring grease screw rivet. Sell that. Don't think I can sell that. And hold on to those for now.
Dr. Reid, I am glad to see you again.
Fancy hideout. All right, so let's evolve again, and then I'm going to call it there because so much has happened and there's still probably so much left to go with this story. So first, let's upgrade. Let's get my claws up. Do I have enough points? Oh, not quite. Thought I did. So let's upgrade health. And blood capacity. So I'm gonna leave it there, and as always, please leave your likes, comments, suggestions down below. Please feel free to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!